Hey everyone, welcome to the Checkered Chat. I'm Justin.
I'm Blake.
And we are here to talk to you guys about the NASCAR weekend in Indy. Not just at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but also at Indy Race Park. Yeah, that's what it's called. Couldn't remember what it was called. Last week I couldn't remember where the hell we were at, and this week now I don't know the name of the track,
Round of applause. You at least knew where it was all happening.
Yeah. Indianapolis. That's where we're at. Yeah. So Indy, it's always tough to pass there because it's a flat track basically.
And then you have the aero issues of the next gen, and then the package that they run with Xfinity is quite odd also, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, the Xfinity race I feel like was more exciting.
There was a lot. I mean, there wasn't any passing, like, unless you were very deep in the field with Cup. It felt like.
Yeah, definitely.
Xfinity was very competitive top to bottom.
It felt like with Cup, it was more like anytime there was any kind of pitting, that's when you were like, ooh, this is getting interesting. You know? Like, it was still entertaining, don't get me wrong. Like, the whole race.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If there's race cars on the TV, I'm entertained. Yeah. So...
And I mean, like I've seen a lot of people say, and what I kind of have to remind myself sometimes is like, you can't get ready to bring out the pitchforks and the torches for Indy because, like, part of it is the place, not the race.
Yeah, no, it's one of those, like, holy crap, like, we're racing here kind of thing.
It's just annoying, though, when you know that, like, that issue is not solely at Indy and how much better the racing could be there.
Very true.
If the car just got the aero crap fixed.
Well, the thing is, I heard it was on Dale Jr. Download this week. Dale was talking about how there was issues with passing with the previous car here, and then they decided, okay, they were trying to do everything they could to fix it, so they're like, I guess we tried making it a road course, and then, they run the Indy road course for 2 years, which thank God we're not on that anymore.
Honestly, it was entertaining.
I mean, I wasn't a fan at the time, so I can't really speak too much to it, but,
And it was like, every time you saw somebody get a run down the backstretch, it was like, oh, they're going to go for it on the inside. Nope, they're going to block them all the way into the grass.
Yeah.
I get it. Because, like, if you send it on the outside, you're not going to get around.
Yeah, no, I mean, very true. But yeah, so we'll get more into the races in the respected series, or respected series. I guess that's the way to say it. I don't know. You know what I mean. Anyways, news for this week. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been an interesting few days.
These are all sprinkled kind of out of order in the way that I feel like they came out.
Bring your mic just a little bit closer to you.
Sorry. So
no, you're good.
The order that we're going to go through the news is kind of a little shuffled from how it all came out. But leading it off, we're going to talk about Stuart Friesen had a very scary dirt wreck. And now he is going to have surgery, so in my opinion, that probably ends his truck season.
100%. Fractured pelvis is not.
And it was fractured in multiple places.
Yeah, no.
And then he broke his right leg.
Yeah, no. I mean, let's be honest. I don't know what part of his leg he broke, but like, if he broke his femur, that's the biggest.
Have been. I can't remember.
That's the biggest bone in your body that it also takes the longest to heal, and then also your pelvis I think might be the second biggest. I don't know.
That's just wild to think about, how hard it is to fracture a pelvis, and his got fractured in multiple places.
I mean, he got rocked. He
hit the wall, shot up in the air, landed on the fuel tank, ball of fire, which that was probably more scary to watch than the injury part. But then he lands hard. That hurt. He gets hit by a car. That hurt. And then he gets hit by a second car, I'm pretty sure.
Good God.
Like,
I didn't realize it was two.
I think it was. And it might have been that the car broke into multiple pieces, so another piece of the car might have got hit by another one. But
maybe, yeah. It was still just a lot. But
I think I watched it twice. for like just to make sure I saw everything and understood it, and then I was like, I can't watch this.
Yeah, no. Wishing him a speedy recovery for sure.
Which I mean, it like obviously, you know, like we hope he gets well, all of that, but like on the racing side of things, that really sucks because like he was in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of that, I mean, nobody wants to get in the playoffs that way, but like he's probably not making it back to the track this year, not by playoffs. So there's another open playoff spot in the Truck Series.
Yeah, that's true.
Not that it matters. Corey Haim's going to win unless somebody wrecks him at Phoenix or he has an issue, but
true.
I digress.
Which, you know, wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility for that to happen by any means.
Yeah. So Ty Gibbs wins your in-season tournament.
Woohoo.
Yeah, I mean, congrats. Did you see the video? So they gave him the money gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Prop money. There were fans like fighting over it, thinking that it was like actual money that were like right there.
Oh my God.
Which, I mean, I'm sure some of them just wanted like the prop money to be like, look what I got to bring home from Indy. But like, I think some of them legitimately thought they were $100 bills.
Yeah, that's interesting. Oh my gosh. So next on there, we got Jimmy Johnson intends to compete in the San Diego race next year. That'll be interesting. Yeah. I'm excited about this San Diego stuff. I think it's going to be really cool.
I also think it'll be interesting to see the trucks do it since they never went to Chicago.
Yeah.
And they don't really run that many road courses.
Yeah, it'll be.
That's going to be the best and worst race of the weekend, depending on which way you look at it.
Yeah.
It'll be the best for action. And it'll be the worst because there's probably going to be just wreck after wreck after wreck. But
true, yeah. Then we have 4-time NASCAR Euro champion Alan Day is going to be racing for Sam Hunt at Portland in the Xfinity Series. I don't know a lot about this guy.
I don't either. I just thought it was interesting that like because NASCAR has the Euro Series, the Mexico Series. They have a Canada Series. I forget. It's like the Pinties or something like that. I don't know. It might have changed names, but they have those. And I think it's interesting to see, especially a 4-time champion of one of those series come over and want to get his feet wet in the American aspect of NASCAR. And I honestly, in a way, probably see where a 4-time champion of that series stacks up in the Xfinity Series for like,
yeah.
I mean, that would be the best way I feel like to kind of gauge. I mean, unless he has issues and whatnot, but
yeah, no, I think it'll be cool to see because I mean, this is the first time that's happened, right?
As far as I know.
Yeah, I mean, it checks out.
I mean, other than like, I think Suarez ran some NASCAR Mexico before he came to America and started running NASCAR, but
okay, yeah. I get what you're saying.
But, like, I think for, like, a one-off, like, crossover type deal, this is, if not the first, one of the first handful of people to do it.
For sure. You want to take the next one?
Yeah. We'll just 2 and 2. We'll just keep doing that.
Works for me.
So, Denny Hamlin signs a multi-year contract extension with JGR. Yay.
I think it's a 2-year extension, so I think 2 years from now.
That's what I was about to say. It sounded like that when he talked about Indy and how frustrating it was knowing now he only has 2 more chances.
Yeah.
So that also, to me, sounds like unless there's major shakeups with the car or the playoff format, that this will be the final 2 years of Denny the driver.
I don't know.
Because he kind of made it sound like if they make some changes to the playoffs, he might stick around longer because he feels like he has more of a shot with the legitimate championship than the one race, which to an extent I see where he's coming from, but also Denny's been racing since 07 or 08 and has never won a championship under any of the different formats.
Yeah.
Take it as you will. I'm a Denny hater, so
yeah.
And then in the Xfinity Series, Junior Motorsports picked up their 100th victory this Saturday with Connor Zilic.
3 in a row for him.
Should have been Allgaier, but
you know, we'll get to that.
But I think what was crazy too is like, think about how many times they've won this year. They weren't like super close and for sure going to hit 100 this year. They've just went crazy.
Yeah. No, I mean, like we've said, I feel like every week it's JRM runs Xfinity.
Yeah. Because you've had SVG come over and win. You had Suarez come over and win. You had Larson win in the 88 car. You've had Allgaier win, and then Zilich has won 4 or 5 races on his own.
Yeah.
4?
I know 3 in a row.
And then he won.
Did he win COTA?
Yes.
Yeah, he won COTA, so 4.
And then Larson won at Texas in the 88. So that'd be 5 for the 88 car. So, I mean, they've picked up almost 10 wins this year.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
It's wild. So, Colleague put out a post today saying, that was today, right?
Yeah.
That they are releasing Josh Williams mid-season. No real reasoning behind it or anything.
Colleague tried to, the way I interpreted it, also, I like Josh Williams. I don't have a stance on Colleague, so I might be slightly biased, but the way I interpreted reading what Colleague said and what Josh Williams said, you know, apart from each other, Colleague kind of made it sound like it was a mutual thing, and Josh Williams was like, they released me mid-season.
Okay.
Which is odd.
Yeah, because, I mean, he wasn't doing awful, but, I mean, he wasn't, like, lighting the world on fire or anything.
He was 2 or 3 spots lower than Daniel Dye in the playoff standings. None of the Colleague cars are in contention for the playoffs unless they win.
Yeah.
Eckes is the highest, and then it's Daniel Dye, and then it's Josh. My only thought process behind it is Josh is on the older side, and they're like, well, Daniel Dye is... think technically a rookie. He had 12 starts before this year or something like that. So I guess they're like, well, if Daniel Dye can get in our equipment and do that, and like maybe we don't need this veteran guy around, maybe we can, because what they're going to do is Hocevar is going to run this weekend for him. So that it sounds like for the remainder of the year, they're just going to get Cup guys and maybe give truck guys an opportunity or whatnot.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that kind of makes sense, you know.
Colleague's also just been very weird with their moves, I feel like, because it feels like every year or other year, AJ Allmendinger goes up or down, depending on what Colleague wants.
It really feels like Allmendinger is just like, all right, where do you want me this year?
Yeah.
I'm going to run this. Okay, cool. Then, you know. Then you have, dear Lord, Austin Hill is suspended for Iowa for right hooking Almirola, and Austin Dillon will be driving the 21 car. We'll get more into this when we actually get into the Xfinity race. I'm just going to leave it at that. We'll
stick around if you're interested.
Yeah, stick around. Please do. If you made it this far, you might as well stick around.
You've made it 10 minutes in. Yeah. Stick around for the next little while.
Next little while. And lastly, Mexico will not be returning this year, and it sounds like Chicagoland is going to be making a comeback.
Which, if we go off of how San Diego went from a rumor to reality very quickly, this feels like the same thing from the sources that you're hearing it from, which it also sounds like part of the reason that we're not going back to Mexico is scheduling conflicts with FIFA being there.
Yeah, World Cup.
So, I mean, it makes sense. And also, like, I think it's probably a logistical nightmare for teams to, like, once a year go to Mexico.
Yeah.
So if it's once every other year, or if this was a one and done, it was cool, but we don't see the upside to it. You know, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah,
We had a good weekend there. I'm not mad if that's what we leave it at.
Yeah.
I'm also not mad if we go back.
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely could see next year us going back. Just
like the year after.
Or that's what I meant. Yeah, my bad.
No, you're good.
Just with them citing FIFA in that, like,
it makes sense.
Yeah.
And also, I think they kind of have their backs against the wall with releasing next year's schedule already.
Oh, 100% they do. Yeah.
So I think if you have more time to schedule around it, maybe you go to Texas and then go from Texas to Mexico, and then after that, whatever, where this year we went like, Chicago, Mexico, Pocono?
Mexico. No, it was like Atlanta.
No, it was Michigan,
Mexico, Atlanta, Chicago, I think. Yeah. Something like that. But yeah, no, I mean, it does sound like a logistical nightmare for sure. But definitely with them citing FIFA, I do feel like it's not something that's out of the cards for the future.
Yeah.
For sure. But anything else on news?
I think we're good on that.
Sweet. You want to dive on into the truck race at the Indy race park.
So if you listened last week, you'll know that when we made our picks, I said, I'm picking Lane Riggs, and it's going to hit at some point. It hit.
Yeah.
Really, in all honesty, this was almost complete Lane Riggs domination.
I mean, it pretty much was.
He won stage 1. He won stage 2. Corey Heim started on the pole, and once Lane got around him, he was out front until I think it was the pit cycle at the end of stage 2. He got tires. Other people stayed out, and then he had to fight through that. But other than that, I mean, in total, the only cautions you had were 2 for the stages, 1 at lap 100 for Alan Waller. Sorry.
Alan Waller hits the wall.
Yeah, running 33rd.
In turn 3 while running 33rd. That's funny.
Yeah.
Real repetitive.
Really, yeah. So, fun tidbit. This is the first stage 2 that Corey Heim has not won since North Wilkesboro in May.
Dang.
But also, that has only been 5 races. So that also puts into perspective how much more breaks that trucks have in between races.
100%.
But still, 5 straight races since May. Corey Heim has won stage 2. So Lane Riggs led a total of 160 laps in this race, which was more than the entire rest of his season combined. It was either 103 or 105. I got 103 from the timeline of the truck race, and then when I watched the highlights, they said 105. It's one of the two. They're very close. But overall, going out on a short track where he's really probably the best at when it comes to his driving style, leading 160 laps, winning all the stages. I mean, it was really, he just dominated.
Yeah.
It was one of those days where, like, it's got to feel good.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we'll get into your top 10. So you already know that Lane Riggs won. Big shout out to Corey Day finishing second. Really, at the end, the only car that showed similar speed to Lane Riggs. Corey Heim battled back for third. Grant Enfinger was fourth. Ty Majeski fifth. Chandler Smith sixth. Daniel Hemrick seventh. Tyler Ankrum eighth. Ross Chastain ninth. Rajat 10th. Which, it's crazy that Ross came back to finish ninth because on lap 65 on that pit cycle after stage 1, when he pulled out of his pit, he had a loose driver's side front wheel. And, you know, typically you have a loose wheel, you can limp it back around. I don't know if they had a single lug nut on it because he's driving and the whole car lifts up, crushes the door on the tire, and the tire just rolls off on pit road.
Gosh.
Like, that whole door was beat.
Yeah.
Comes back to ninth.
That's nuts. But on to Xfinity for this week. This was not a one-driver domination station race, if we're going to be honest.
Domination station.
Yes. So Sam Mayer won on your pole. We start off at lap 3 with Harrison Burton just spins off of turn 2, brings out a caution. He was just by himself.
Yeah.
Spun out. Stage 1, Sam Mayer wins. Lap 40, Nick Sanchez ends up blowing a flat in between 3 and 4. You know, you gotta love autocorrect because they don't know. It doesn't know these people's last name.
Yeah,
which is funny. So Christian Eckes, he ends up cutting a tire, but he makes it back to pit road. Doesn't bring out the caution. So in this race, like so far since the beginning of the race, you've really only had 2 cautions.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not an absolute crapshoot, you know. But Justin Allgaier ends up winning stage 2 because he won stage 2, and then Zillage was right behind him, wasn't he? Was he like
in
second?
The top 3.
Top 3.
Sure, I know.
So during the caution and everyone's on pit road, Zillage ends up dropping to 5th because of a tire gun issue, and Allgaier is followed by Kyle Larson off of pit road. This is very important. He's followed by him because hold on, why am I about
to say you're skipping a restart?
I totally am. That's my bad. Anyways, it's still important either way. So on lap 67 on the restart, Allgaier starts from the inside, Larson on the outside. Allgaier ends up having to bail out in the turn, and Larson ends up taking the lead, and then Leland Honeyman, whatever, gets loose in turn 2 and makes contact with Carson Quapfel, who spins and hits the wall from, he's running roughly 7th.
Which, at this point of the race, in my mind, I'm like, wow, I literally picked Carson Quapfel off of a paint scheme.
Yeah.
He was fast in practice. He's been up front all day. I was like, hold on a second. We might be cooking here.
Are we getting somewhere with this finally?
And then it just... gone. Also, if Leland Honeyman watches, you should totally make merch that is the Honeyman.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
We came up with it.
Yeah, we came up with it. We'll start calling him the Honeyman. The Honeyman. Anyways, sorry y'all. So there was no shortage of weather going on in Indy.
Yeah.
Not the good kind of weather. So we have a rain caution. Or rain delay. Was the delay at this point, or was it the caution? Just caution.
This was just a caution.
Okay. So, yeah, there's just a caution at this point. Sorry, y'all. I'm running on fumes, apparently. So this is the restart that I was getting to earlier. So remember who I said was following Justin Allgaier? That's Kyle Larson. The best driver in NASCAR who just keeps getting loose all the time. Basically, Larson ends up getting loose and then makes contact with Allgaier, which sends Allgaier into the wall. Absolutely ends his day. Zillich takes the lead from this point, and Taylor Gray is running in second. Lap 93, there's a red flag for weather. You know, remember me talking about the weather earlier.
Well, we're skipping something.
We are. Oh my God, we are. Jesus Christ. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I need to follow a little better in my notes. Lap 93, there is a red flag for weather, but we'll just remember I said that. I don't want to repeat it again. Lap 91, Eric Almirola makes contact with Austin Hill.
He doesn't even make contact.
He just gets him loose.
He does what you do in the Xfinity car, and he uses the air to manipulate side force and get you loose.
Yes.
I mean, whoop-de-doo. Literally, that's how you pass. He's running slower than Austin Hill. He's holding up Austin Hill.
Austin Hill is running slower. Yes.
Austin Hill is just holding up Almirola. And he, at this point, does nothing wrong. He uses the air to get him loose and tries to make the move because at this point, he feels, and honestly, he had a fast enough car, at least in comparison to Hill, to try to hang on with the leaders.
He definitely would have been in the talk, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he would have won, but he might have got around Taylor Gray, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, God forbid, everybody knows you rough up Austin Hill, rough up, quote unquote. If you inconvenience him in the slightest, he's going to try to murder you with a race car.
Yeah. So Austin Hill right rear hooks. Well, I guess it's more left rear at this point.
No, it was right rear.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Right rear hooks him into the wall, wrecks himself also in the process.
Non-safer barrier part.
Yes.
So
I think Almirola said that was the hardest hit that he's had next to the hit that broke his back. Yeah. So yeah, Austin Hill is suspended for next week. He's also in this race parked for 5 laps.
Which, I have a bone to pick.
Okay.
Park him for the rest of the race.
Yeah.
Park him for the rest of that race.
At that point, then, it's 9 laps.
Well, not even here's where the waters got muddied. COTA. Because NASCAR dropped the ball and was inconsistent and didn't suspend Austin Cindric for right hooking someone. Now there's question. Which, if you're Richard Childress, you kind of have to have that leg to stand on because you're going to back your driver.
Yeah.
Even if you're wrong, you kind of have to.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
This is the thing. I can't see if okay. I'm trying to think of how I'm putting this. Richard Childress, if that was say that was Allgaier, he right rear hooks.
Or you just reverse it in this scenario and you say that's Almirola right hooking Austin Hill.
Yes.
You're calling for his head.
Yeah, Joe Gibbs would probably be like, hey, buddy, we don't do that.
Yeah.
Or I know for sure that Junior would have called Allgaier out. I know for sure that if Bubba or Riley or Tyler went out there and right rear hooked someone, Denny would come and call him out. I could go on. Every single other owner would, but...
I mean, to an extent, you have to stand with your guy. And in this scenario, say, well, I don't personally think he should be suspended because look back to the time that it happened this year and the precedent that's been set. So that's fine. But then to kind of just say that he did nothing wrong, okay, there's where you lose me.
Not kinda. He straight up said he did nothing wrong.
And like last year, I understood him defending Austin Dillon because, I mean, that was a huge overreaction by NASCAR.
100%.
But this is a scenario where you should probably just say, hey, I don't think he should be suspended for a week based off of the way that we went with ruling this year. But if it does turn out that he did intentionally do it, then we will have to have a conversation because that's not something that we do at RCR.
Yeah, no, that's the way to go about
because
it.
Then you don't admit, hey, he effed up, he did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Because then you're just throwing yourself under the bus.
Yeah, because now you have the soundbite of him just, sitting there being like, hell no, he shouldn't be suspended. He didn't do anything wrong. Yeah. Now you have that, and you're like, are you serious? Like, I mean...
Because at the end of the day, there's a takeaway that I think Austin Hill should get from this. And this is funny. This isn't being serious. Don't wear white gloves. If you're going to act like an idiot, don't wear white gloves because we can watch the video and see. Also, when you get parked for 5 laps, do not immediately say NASCAR can go F themselves. F NASCAR. They're stupid. I can't believe this effing BS. That's like, I'm sorry.
Let's be real. He has a history.
Last year when me and Lily went to Charlotte, him and, why am I drawing a blank here? Cole Custer were racing hard.
Yep.
Cole Custer kind of gets him in the wall, but also he could have lifted. It wasn't a point of the race where it was like, we're going for it.
Yeah.
He then drives all the way down the backstretch trying to wreck.
Yeah. You can go back, you can go to that, you can go to Martinsville.
Because
this year. I mean, I'm talking multiple seasons spanning history.
You can go his whole RCR Xfinity career. Because, I'm glad you did bring Martinsville up because Almirola brought up that after Martinsville, he was like, hey, guys, I shouldn't have, just because everybody else was doing that, I shouldn't have drove in and cleaned people out for a win. I should do better and be You're going to be a role model. That's hilarious.
Yeah, no.
But that also, to an extent, is like Almirola said he was going to come down and be a role model. But, like, he didn't try to kill anybody. He just put somebody in the wall for a win, whatever, at this point, in the comparison of the two.
No, 100%. That's the thing, because, I mean, I saw people be like, oh, like, do they have SMT to review that?
You don't need SMT. You have white gloves through a windshield.
They got old school SMT, the white gloves.
Yeah, and it's also bad when the entire broadcast team can't even try to defend what you did. They're all like, ooh, that's bad. That shouldn't have happened. NASCAR's going to have something to say about it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Because if he doesn't straighten the car up, then you have the legitimate argument of, okay, maybe he didn't have control of the car. The car snapped straight, drove forward, and then went left.
Yeah, no, I mean, and you see him go, or this way.
Yeah.
No, it's something that there's not a place for that.
No. And the other thing, too, is I just think that he's gotten away with so much over his career.
100%.
Partially by NASCAR not stepping in, and partially because, let's be honest, he is as big as 2 Xfinity drivers put together most of the time. Yeah. You're not going to go up to Austin Hill after the race if you don't want to get just laid out.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean...
So to an extent... You could argue that, like, he is in theory a bully of the Xfinity series because he's the big kid on the playground, and he feels like, well, I can do whatever I want to you because you're not going to do anything
Nobody
back.
Can screw with me. Well, on to the rest of the race. After the red flag for weather, Sam Mayer and Zilich battle it out. Zilich ends up winning with a margin of victory of .339. So... It was nice to see Zilich, like, finally straight up win an oval.
It's not an oval. It's a rectangle. I'm just repeating what I saw on social media that I knew would kind of get you going. Did you see all that?
No, I didn't. I'm gonna scream.
Please don't.
I'm internally screaming right now.
Because I saw where somebody was like, people were saying that, and then I forget who it was, but somebody was like, poor Zilich is never going to beat the allegations because he's now won on a triangle, he's won a rain-shortened Dover race, and now he's won on a rectangle. He won Indy, people. Let's be real. Cut
the boy a break. He's 18.
He's also the best driver in the Xfinity Series.
100. I mean, I don't think it's that crazy that, I think it was last week we talked about, like, are we looking at, like, the next gen...
Like Jeff or Jimmy?
Jeff or Jimmy, yeah. Like, are y'all insane? Are you crazy? Are you smoking crack? Like, oh, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. Okay, well, when he goes and wins Atlanta, Daytona, Martinsville.
I thought we were going, if he won Atlanta, Talladega, Daytona, they'd be like, ooh, the drifting twig.
Oh, the drifting twig. Yeah, no. Are we going to say, oh, Martinsville's a paperclip? So he didn't win an oval.
I hope he wins Phoenix so then we can see people say it's not a real oval.
I know. Isosceles triangle or whatever. Like, y'all are stupid. Like, he won. Okay?
I mean, it did kind of take Kyle Larson murdering Allgaier.
He still won.
I still think the way that race went, the race is between Allgaier and Zilich when it's all said and done.
Bottom line.
Not Larson.
No.
Also, we'll get more into Larson, but the man who has ran more miles and laps than anyone on that racetrack this year. What are you doing, dog?
Yeah, we'll get into it.
You don't know how to make a turn.
Yeah.
You oversend it, wash up and take out, which here, I'm going to say this. I see both sides of the scenario, but you take out a championship contender in a series that you're not running in. Now, it wasn't intentional. I do understand that. But, there's multiple ways to look at that one.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I mean, I get you're going for a win, but it's not the final restart. It's not checkered. Like, you're in a car that can make moves and pass, unlike the car that you race on Sundays.
Yeah.
But...
yeah, I guess he forgot. I don't know. But your top 10 this week, Zilich won, Sam Mayer, Taylor Gray, Kyle Larson, Ryan Sieg. Nice to see him up there. We've seen a lot more of him in the top 10 here lately, I feel like. William Sawalich, Sammy Smith, Daniel Dye, Jesse Love, and Dean Thompson. Dean Thompson's a truck guy, isn't he?
He's Xfinity rookie. He was Cup last year.
He was truck.
I meant truck.
Yeah. Yep. Yep, that was your top 10. So... on to the Cup Series race. Shall we call it the Aero Brickyard?
The Aero blocking at the Brickyard.
At the Brickyard. Sponsored by, I don't know, what's a brick company?
I don't know.
Sponsored by Concrete. That's what it's sponsored.
Concrete.
Yeah. So, you got Chase Briscoe on the pole. Mr. Saturday.
Which... I believe he was the first driver in one season to win the pole for the Daytona 500, the Coke 600, and the Brickyard.
Yeah. Definitely, I think next year, maybe, he's probably going to be a title contender.
Remember during our, crazy picks, hot takes, whatever, and I said... He's gonna get in at JGR and he's gonna click and he's gonna outdo what Truex was able to do in the next Gen 19 era.
Yeah,
I think I hit the nail on the head with that one.
No, I agree. I mean, I think definitely if it's not this year, it's next year. I mean, because the dude has been solid. Granted, he has one win. I'm not saying he's
I mean, two of his teammates have 3 wins. He has 1. Another one of his teammates is never going to win, but that's another story. But
fake money tie.
Yeah, he did have a very legitimate shot at the Brickyard this year.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, because that race is all about track position, and if you can start on the pole, there's a good chance you could win the race. If we're going to be honest. But starting before the race, Hamlin wrecks in qualifying from getting loose in turn 2. I feel like he's had a lot of start from the rear because of qualifying stuff this year. I can't remember what
he wrecked at Martinsville.
That's where it was.
And then Chicago, he blew a motor before even turning one full lap at speed. So some stuff has been just car and some stuff has been driver. He hasn't had great luck with it this year.
No, not at all. I mean,
which I love
granted,
to see,
you say that, but he does have 4 wins.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm saying, like, with the whole, like, Saturday.
Yeah,
he hasn't had the best luck.
A lot of races have been just an uphill battle for him, but he still does good, but...
Didn't he come, like, from the back at Dover? Or at least somewhat near the back?
Yeah, I think he... I think
he wrecked, and they had to fix his car.
Yeah, no, you're probably right, honestly. Yeah, it's just... It seems like a lot of races for Denny this year have just been kind of an uphill battle, but, I mean, props to him for, toughing it out. Like, don't get me wrong. Denny is not my favorite driver by any means.
We don't like the guy, but we respect his talents and what he can do.
Yes, but I'm starting to hate him less. Like I'm not saying I'm like thrilled when he wins by any means, but like I definitely there's another driver that's it's the gap between my 2 least favorite drivers is getting larger.
I mean, to an extent that's fair. I will never fully turn.
Yeah.
Also, I really liked Denny when he first came onto the scene, and then it didn't take too terribly long afterwards for him to start like falling down the list. Then you get in the 2010s, and he's the bottom of the list. And then him and Joey Logano fought it out for a while, and then so on and so forth. But I mean, I'm to the extent that I don't really like him, that I was hoping that he wasn't going to win the Brickyard, so he didn't get the career Grand Slam, whatever you want to call it. Because we'd never hear I mean, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. We all know that.
Yeah, no, I mean,
but you'd never hear the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, considering he doesn't have a championship to be like, hey. I mean,
he has 3 Daytona 500 wins. Like that's what he at this point in his career. What honestly he will probably be remembered the most for, other than his just total wins.
Yeah, unless
he wins the Brickyard before he retires, or somehow miraculously wins a championship.
I mean, dude. I mean, could you imagine his last season? He retires and with winning the championship.
I would throw up.
Honestly, man, like, that's a perfect sun setting on your career if that happens.
Yeah, but, like, I'm on the hater side of it.
I understand.
Like, that would just send me over the edge that, like, the final time you ever get to see him on track, he just pisses you off and wins the championship.
Well, let's be honest. Once he retires, he's going to go and run 2311.
Like some part-time stuff?
Like, same way that Jimmy Johnson does with Legacy.
Probably,
I think that's just...
Yeah. I could see it. I don't know. He also does strike me as the kind of guy that, like, he will have been doing it for so long that he might just take the full step back and be team owner Denny that walks around in a nice
I could
polo
see that
t-shirt.
Let's be honest. He's not going to walk around in a polo. Well, he might be in a polo, but he'll still be in,
he'll
Jordans
be in Jordans
and yeah.
He'll have a Jordan brand, like, dry fit polo.
Yeah, something like that. I also could see once Kyle Busch retires, him running a few one-offs with 2311.
I don't think so.
Really?
No. I think when Kyle's done with Cup, he's gonna his final hoorah of getting it out of his system is gonna be running trucks with Brexton, and then he's just gonna fade to the background and be Brexton's dad that also goes to the racetrack.
I don't know, man.
He strikes me as the kind that once it's over, it's over. I don't think he's gonna come back and toy around, other than the trucks with Brexton.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Anyways, back to the race from Sunday.
Lap 17?
Yeah, lap 17, Chastain gets bumped by McDowell. It kind of looked like Chastain just braked a lot harder than McDowell was expecting.
Yeah.
And he bumped him, and then it just sent him into the wall.
Which also, on the other side, it's lap 17.
Yeah.
Come on, McDowell.
Yeah. But, I mean, you got to think. McDowell's at this point racing for a win. Obviously, anybody who's not in the playoffs picture
weren't
right
they
now.
Like mid to low 20s in the running?
Yeah, it was not.
There was no gain for that.
I mean, I think maybe he's thinking, "Oh, it's really hard to pass here. I have a chance."
Maybe, yeah.
But they played his radio afterwards, and he was like, "I did not mean to do that." I mean, McDowell doesn't strike me as the guy to come and BS over the radio or anything. He just seems like a nice dude.
I think he's pretty genuine in the car, out the car, all the
same dude.
Yeah, which also we'll get to later. Somebody that came over the radio. It's like, man, I didn't mean to do that.
Okay, we'll get there. I don't remember exactly.
If you don't have it in here, I kind of remember where to go.
Okay. So stage 1, Chase Briscoe from the pole wins stage 1. Lap 84, Cindric blows a right front tire from the lead, but makes it to pit road. Somehow
that tire held on long enough that it didn't throw enough out to cause caution.
So also to add to this, Cindric has now led the most laps at the Brickyard in Penske history. Previous holder of that was Rusty Wallace.
That's also insane.
The 2 has held it.
Well, that and that Joey Logano isn't the laps leader for Penske at the Brickyard. Think about it.
Has he won the Brickyard before?
No.
Okay.
But just think about how long he's raced in Penske equipment at the Brickyard.
That's true.
And he doesn't have that.
Yeah.
Or honestly, Brad, too.
Yeah. I mean, you could... Yeah, you wouldn't expect it to be Cindric. But, I mean, Cindric
Nepo baby Cindric.
Calm down. Calm down. You leave my Nepo baby alone.
Carson Quatful won't.
Fuck you. That'll get edited out.
Rage bait, rage bait, rage bait.
Yeah, this podcast is just constantly, Blake, rage baiting me over drivers.
It's fun.
Yeah, okay. All right, Mr.
You're going to have a...
Mr. I drive my daddy's car.
I was about to say, in a minute, you're going to have a real good opportunity to rage bait me when we get to the end of this.
Yeah, 100% I will. So Eric Jones ends up cutting a tire, and the wheel just shoots off into the wall.
I really hated that for him.
Yeah, I know, man.
He was so competitive.
He was. That's the thing.
He was like top 5 all day, pretty much. If not, for sure, top 10 all day. He was right around the top 5 battling.
Yeah.
I don't think he was going to win, obviously. But
it would have been a good day for him, for
and
sure.
And he also would have been in the talks and in the fight, depending on what strategy he went on and what he... Because didn't he jump on the Penske strategy? Wasn't he the Toyota guy?
I think so. It sounds like it, yeah. Yeah. That's the thing, man. Penske seems to be the only one with any balls to, like, try a different strategy, you know?
Yeah, because, I mean, there were slightly differing laps, but nobody... And the other thing, too... I think Penske said, okay, let's try to strategize this race from the end to now rather than from now to the end. Mm-hmm. We're not in position right now to shake things up and be competitive and win stages. Throw a Hail Mary. All of our guys are in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true.
We own the track. We want to win here.
Might as well.
Let's throw a Hail Mary and go with it, which it worked for a while.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
And you look at the end, if it's not for some misfortune, we might have a different winner.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, because Blaney wins stage 2, but then coming off of stage 2, he didn't flip the stage, so he won the stage. He doesn't pit to keep track position, but then they realize, oh, hey, we don't have any gas. So he comes to pit road with pit road being closed. Eats the penalty.
Yeah, which, I mean, you kind of had to do it that way.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's either that or run out of gas on the track and cause another issue.
Yeah, which, I mean, at the end, you might play devil's advocate and talk me into it if I'm the driver and or team, but, like, at this point, there's no need for that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. And that's the thing, like, I feel like it was kind of like the position they're like, okay, we can we're going to run out of gas, but we're not in position to win this race. Let's at least win a stage.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
I mean, that's the thing. That's playoff points right there. That's
I mean, in some of the big battles now, when it comes to who's getting out of the round, is such little playoff points that sometimes if you know it's not your day and you're already in the playoffs, you kind of have to get creative and get playoff points, which give flowers where they're due. Bubba Wallace is also really good at that. Hey, the team and him both kind of come together and
let's cut our losses and
and get some stage points. Like road courses, if Bubba's somewhat competitive enough to stay out and not flip the stage and win it, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna do it.
So speaking of Penske, Joey Logano ends up blowing a right front, but he makes it to pit road without bringing the caution out at lap 135. Lap 155, we have a caution for weather. Then
somewhere in here,
is this what I missed that you were gonna bring up, or?
No, never mind. I see it's part of your 162.
Ah, gotcha. Sweet. So, yeah, then there's a red flag for weather. We were literally only red flag for like maybe 15 minutes.
It rained not too bad for not too long, and literally with how big that track is, only got turn 1 and some of the short chute wet, I believe. If not, maybe turns 1 and 2, but they didn't have to dry much.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I did see everybody crying about, why don't we just call it here? They didn't call it last week, and they had to dry the whole track at Dover.
Yeah.
If you have to dry the whole 2.5 mile track,
understandable.
Okay,
but
I can get on board with that.
But you don't have to, because this track is so big.
And then the other thing, too, is everybody was like, well, of course they're not going to rain it out. There's a 2311 car winning. NASCAR doesn't want to see them win. I mean, yeah, I get that argument a little bit to a point.
Yeah, but
also, NASCAR also just I said also way too much right there. NASCAR would like for it to go to the scheduled distance for fans in attendance, fans at home.
Yeah.
As long as it's not crazy outside of TV windows, or we're driving a 2.5 mile track for overtime.
Yeah.
But
I'll let you take the next one.
Okay, so on the first overtime restart, Bubba leads from the inside with Kyle Larson on the outside. Both stay side by side until Bubba Wallace clears off turn 2. And then behind them, Zane Smith running around 10th place gets turned by Christopher Bell, hits the backstretch wall. Reddick also gets collected in that. And then Logano hit Zane Smith while he was spinning as well. And then Jesse Love gets damaged too. This was where I was talking about another driver. I was like, oh, man, I didn't mean to do that on the radio, where Christopher Bell just junked Zane Smith.
I missed that, but that doesn't surprise me.
And then I don't know if you listened to Stacking Pennies this week or not.
I have not.
So Skip, is that his name?
Yeah. Ryan Flores, yeah.
So he's on Zane Smith's pit crew now.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So he said that he saw Bell do something that he honestly, for the most part, has never really seen anybody else do, and it took balls. He went to every member of the pit crew, every member of the team, and then even into the hauler to the road crew and apologized to everybody on the 38 team.
Wow.
And genuinely was like, look, I misjudged that. That's on me.
Yeah.
I know how hard all you guys work. I'm sorry.
Dang.
Because let's be honest, you're walking into enemy territories and there's a shot you're getting punched in the face.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean,
you watch that with the naked eye, it looks like, okay, you tried to block me. Hook.
Yeah. No, respect. Yeah. Honestly,
I mean, I still don't love the guy, but like,
respect. 100%. Yeah.
That earns some points.
Yeah.
Because like that is a big step up from, all right, it's Tuesday. I'm gonna call Zane Smith. Hey,
Let me text him.
Yeah. At this point, it ain't even calls anymore, I bet.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's crazy. I did not know that, but yeah, no.
It also, to an extent, makes sense for Bell, if you think about it.
I mean, coming off of the whole Martinsville last year going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
The fail melon.
And then Dover, where he just wrecked himself God knows how many times, did everything he could to not win the race.
Literally.
Which, I mean, that also, I think all he was trying to do is get as big of a run as possible, get as close to the rear bumper, and then shoot so it's harder to block.
Yeah.
So it's a racing deal.
No, definitely. So now we're at the point of, hey, do we have enough gas to make it to the end of the race? So basically, the way it was sounding was that the only, Larson didn't seem like he was good on gas.
Well, Larson,
Larson seemed like he was good.
Yeah, they were better than Bubba on fuel, and also everyone,
Byron.
Yeah, and everybody else, including Bubba's team, made it sound like if we get past one overtime, Bubba is going to have to pit, and he will not be able to finish this race.
But basically, they ended up just saying, "Screw it, we're gonna hope for the best."
You have to at that point.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in contention for one of the crown jewels, and you're like, "Oh, I may not have enough gas to make it to the end," it's like, all right.
I mean, look at Brad last year.
Yeah.
He waited until the last possible second when he was going to try to give it a little gas to, go for staging for the restart, and he was like, oh, I don't pull it off, which screwed Blaney out of a crown jewel.
100%.
But they did kind of have to call it that way and play it by the rules, because it would be dumb to re-rack it, because Blaney, whichever way you sliced it, one team was getting screwed, whether it be the 5 or the 12.
True.
But the other thing, too, is, if you're Bubba's team, okay, You haven't won in 100 races.
Yeah,
the last time you won was at Kansas in the 45 car, which was a 23 car, just with a different number on it because of owner's points at the time. And that whole Kurt Busch retiring for injury deal. So, like, it's been 100 races. You're at a crown jewel. You're not necessarily safe to make the playoffs where you sit. So let's risk it and be the guy that shakes up the playoffs rather than pitting and then somebody else somehow winning, and then that shuffles you out. So, I mean, you have to.
Yeah. So lap 167, Bubba ends up clearing Larson on the restart. Byron runs out of gas on the back stretch, and Bubba Wallace is your winner. Let's go. I'm excited about this. I'm glad to see Bubba in victory lane for an actual points-paying race. I like the guy. He, I know he has a history of being a little whiny sometimes and everything back in the day, but I don't know. I mean, it feels like over the past at least 2 years that I've been a fan, he seems to have matured and really kind of grown into his own.
Minus Chicago.
Oh, yeah. I mean, okay, fair. But, I mean, let's be honest.
No, but I didn't mean that, like, in a bad way. I just meant, like, that's the only notable thing. And, like, to me, you came in at a really good time to have a clean slate on Bubba and not have, like, muddied opinions on him.
Yeah. But, yeah. So, your top 10 was Bubba Wallace, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Preece, Brad Keselowski, Todd Gilliland. Good finish for him.
Yeah.
Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, Alex Bowman, and Carson Hocevar. Let's go.
Which, another double RFK top 10 day.
Yeah.
And then Buescher kind of was on pace for it. I forget exactly what happened, but it was some sort of strategy or a restart that kind of screwed him back to 14th or 15th.
Yeah.
And like I, kind of crapped on Larson with the Xfinity race, I'll come to his defense a little bit on this one because everybody was like, oh, you couldn't even go up there and pass Bubba Wallace. You couldn't pass anybody.
Yeah, there was no green.
Honest, unless it was Cindric blowing a tire and then getting passed due to misfortune or jumping on pit strategy. There was no... Because like I said earlier, I think in the news portion, if you had a run and you tried to take it to the inside, you were getting blocked to the grass or blocked to the front stretch wall, and you're not going to pass on the outside. They're just... The next-gen car does not race well in the slightest at Indy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of upsetting.
Yeah.
Not, again, like Justin said, not like the old cars really raced fantastically there, but we could improve this.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's room for improvement, 1,000%, but it doesn't sound like the next-gen car is going anywhere anytime soon.
Why would it?
Yeah. I mean, there needs to be some updates for sure, but, I mean, not enough to pull out a new gen of car.
No. But my thing too is like, yes, NASCAR had to make updates and changes due to safety because of like drivers were getting hurt and they weren't very safe at the beginning. But like also now you're hurting your product.
Yeah.
So maybe we should show a little urgency to try to fix that because like you're at a point where I feel like you're in a great space to continue to grow the fan base and bring new people in, because like even just going through social media and looking at like influencers and NASCAR content creators, you see a whole lot more that are, fresh into the sport.
Yeah.
Or like you see a lot more posts about like, wow, I'm so glad I got into this in the next gen era, which is the worst era of my lifetime for you to try to be a fan of NASCAR if you're new to, in my opinion. So like you make some tweaks to the car and make the racing better on the everything but an intermediate, and I think you're really cooking with gas there.
Yeah. Well, that is all we got on Indy for this week. Talk a little playoffs.
Yeah.
Because they kind of shook up. It got a little interesting.
So, in the playoff standings, Denny is still your 1 seed by 1 playoff point over Larson. Your highest placed person that does not have multiple wins is Chase Elliott in 5th. And then now we go down closer to the cut line. So Bubba won, which puts him all the way up to 9th. So he jumps Logano, Chastain, Cindric, and Barry that have all won.
Yep.
Not super surprising considering like Joey really hasn't showed up a lot of places I feel like this year. Chastain was one and done. Cindric was definitely one and done. And sadly, Josh Berry was definitely one and done.
Hold on. Can we explain something real quick? How does Buescher have -4 playoff points? What happened?
Didn't he have a penalty earlier in the year?
Maybe he did. I can't remember.
That's the only way you would have negative.
Okay, that's got to be it. Yeah. Anyways, continue.
So now your fight around the bubble, you have Reddick in 14th, 138 points to the good, which, in all honesty, unless we get 16 winners and he's not one of them, he's virtually locked in.
Yeah.
Bowman is feeling kind of safe at 15 plus 63, but again, not that out of the question or out of the picture to get 2 more winners to knock you out.
Yeah.
And Buescher has to just feel like, okay, yeah, I'm 42 points up, but that doesn't mean anything because 1 winner knocks me out.
Yeah.
And Buescher's almost, even though he's 16th, is at a win and you're in.
Yeah.
Now, real win and you're ins, Preece, 42 points down. That's kind of a lot to come up with in the next few weeks. Busch at 81 is definitely a win and you're in. Ty Gibbs needs to, pray to baby Jesus that he's going to somehow get a win.
Yeah.
And he's down 95. And then AJ Allmendinger is 20th, down 124.
I didn't expect to see Allmendinger up that high.
He's just so consistent.
Yeah.
And you got to think there's 36 people eligible for the playoffs that run full time. So he's better than 16, worse than 19. That's kind of middle of the pack. And being as consistent as he is about not really wrecking out of races and kind of just getting the best finish he can get out of the day and making do with what he has. 20th is
not bad.
Kind of almost where you expect him to be.
Yeah, that's true. You do have a point there. But that's all we got on some playoff standings. We're at Iowa next week. The Iowa Corn 400.
Is that really what it's called?
That's 100% what it's called.
That's awesome.
That's the most fitting. And we've only raced there once in the next gen era.
Yeah.
Ryan Blaney won.
Yeah.
My boy. Let's go. Literally, this car. I mean, not exactly this one.
Yeah, that's the scheme.
The scheme was the one he won in. It's also the wallpaper on my computer that we filmed this on. But yeah, that's our only past next gen winner there. Oh, I realized I did this out of order.
Yeah.
Wow, let's go.
It's not that bad because
it is what it is.
We only had one person to talk about.
True. So, as you guys know, I say this every week. If you don't know by now, we review some paint schemes on here. We just want to be Tyler Pennell when we grow up. You know, that's that's the vibe.
Yeah.
We do our favorite and our least favorite for the week. So, for the Iowa Corn 400, it's gonna be really funny if I find out that's not what it's called. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Please fact check me before we go any.
Iowa Corn 350.
Iowa Corn 350.
Powered by ethanol.
Powered by ethanol. So for the Iowa Corn 350, powered by ethanol at Iowa Speedway.
Which will be airing Sunday, August 3rd at 3:40 p.m.
In case you didn't know, Blake, what's your favorite paint scheme for the week?
Ross Chastain's Busch Beer for the Farmer's car.
That is a cool looking car.
I know I kind of probably say this every time that Busch drops a new scheme, other than Lime so far. I think this is the best Busch scheme of the year. I think it beats Bapple. That car is sick. There's a lot of detail to it. The Bapple car was great. I loved it. But now that you look back on it and compare it to this, it had designs, but they were just a darker red than the rest of the car, and you couldn't really see it that good.
True.
This car is very vibrant, and it looks like you're on a farm.
Yeah, it's a cool one. It kind of reminds me of, when you go to the eye doctor?
Yes.
And
yes.
How blurry's their farmhouse? That's kind of what it reminds me.
Look at the balloon in the distance.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of a little bit. But
that's
it's still
funny.
cool.
That makes so much sense in my head.
It's a cool looking car for sure. But my favorite this week is Joey Gacy's King of the Hill car. This is freaking awesome. I love King of the Hill. It looks cool. I'm excited about this revival for it. I'm actually going through and rewatching King of the Hill right now. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. It's a great show from the 90s. It's so funny. Blake's never seen it because, I'm grandpa, apparently.
I've seen clips of it on TikTok.
Dude, you gotta go and watch the show.
They had Kid Rock, but
It's such a funny show, and the fact that it's getting a revival on Hulu, I'm so excited for it. But your least favorite for this week?
Denny Hamlin's brand new Bob's Furniture paint scheme. God, that thing is ugly.
Yeah, I agree with that. That one's not the greatest. It was in the running for my least favorite, that's for sure.
They were like, hey, guys, we have a new sponsor. Isn't that awesome? And it's like, oh, yeah, new paint scheme for Denny. And then it's like, ugh.
Yeah. So my least favorite for this week, I think last week I said that Ryan Preece's car reminded me of Barney.
This one is
This
Barney.
one is straight up Barney. Zane Smith, Mystic, whatever this is. I don't know. It's the Barney car. It straight up is green and purple. It looks like Barney is on 4 wheels going 200 miles an hour around this racetrack. Well, 185. Whatever.
Yeah.
However fast they're going this week. Yeah, no, I just do not like this car. It looks like Barney. Yeah, so that's everything we got on paint schemes for this week. On to the race picks because I did things out of order. So, Xfinity and Cup only this weekend. No trucks. No trucks at Iowa. No trucks for Iowa. Who you got on Xfinity?
So, you're going to notice a theme here. I picked boring on paint schemes, and I picked spicy on the races. You know, I picked fun. Justin did the opposite.
Yeah, I went spicy on paint schemes, and I'm going boring on picks. So, anyways, Xfinity.
Austin Dillon in the 21 car, because God, do I think that would be the funniest thing ever.
That would be
for
funny.
Austin Hill to have to sit there and watch his car win without him in it the week after he gets suspended. And also, I haven't seen for sure on this, but it sounds like he, by the rules this year, should lose all of his playoff points for being suspended. He'll get a waiver, which I think, well, I don't know. He probably will get a waiver knowing NASCAR, but I think it's stupid that you get a playoff waiver after trying to murder someone.
Yeah. 100%.
But I digress. Austin Dillon to win in Austin Hill's number 21 car. Boy, would that be great.
I'd love to see it. I'm not going to be mad if it happens.
I don't think it's going to happen. That's just
what you want to happen. So I went with Justin Allgaier for this one.
Original.
Yeah, I know. He's good. I mean, he's the favorite to win this race.
I kind of honestly expected you to say, I'm going to pick Zilich until Zilich doesn't win anymore.
Yeah, I thought about it. But, okay, I went back and forth between Allgaier and Zilich.
Yeah.
But I was like, what are the odds that he does 4 in a row?
I mean, dude, his average finish since he came back from injuries like 2.3 or something now.
If we get to the point of him winning 4 in a row, I will make a Zilich hype video on TikTok, and I will take that soundbite from right there. I was going back and forth between Allgaier and Zilich, so what are the odds that he goes 4 in a row? And then I'm going to have it cut to Victory Lane stuff.
Yeah. With some of them youngins hip hop tunes that Justin knows nothing about because he's grandpa.
I know about the Cardi B, the Cardi B, or the Uzi Vert. Guys, I'm not that old. Like, I'm 27, I think.
He's 30.
No, I'm not.
I'm just kidding. You're 27, you think? What do you mean?
Yeah, 27. I have a tattoo of 1998 on my leg to remind me. I'm just not good at math, okay? Like,
I was also born in 2000, so I literally never have to think about how old
you
I
don't.
am.
So, anyways, where are we?
Cup picks.
Oh, yeah, who do you got on Cup?
Ross Chastain. It feels, in a way,
fitting.
Like it's a very, like, it's fitting.
Mm-hmm.
In the For the Farmers Bush car to win in Iowa.
At the Iowa corn.
Yeah, like, it feels fitting. Also, I just for some reason feel like he's going to win one more race before the playoffs start to kind of silence the whole, well, I mean, all he did was win the Coke 600. He led like 2 laps at the end and didn't really do anything.
Yeah. No, I mean, I could see it. Who knows?
I'm probably way wrong, but
who knows?
At least I went fun.
Yeah.
For a change.
So I went with your previous winner, Ryan Blaney, and my boy. Sure. I couldn't resist not picking him.
I mean, it's like next year when we go back to Atlanta, it's probably going to be hard for me to not be like, Chase won the last race there. Chase is my favorite.
Yeah,
Boom,
no,
Chase
100%. I could see that.
It makes sense when your favorite drivers won especially in this scenario, the only race that we've ran in a next gen car. It's hard to go against history when it's your favorite.
100%. But we got anything else for this week, or does that wrap us up?
I think that shall do it.
Sweet. Well, guys, this has been the Checkered Chat. I'm Justin.
I'm Blake.
You guys can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. Check out the podcast on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and you cannot forget about Audible.
Even though no one listens to us on there, you cannot forget
or
about it.
Amazon Music either, but and I don't know who listens to us on Apple, other maybe Blake. I don't know if he even listens to our episodes anymore.
We do have, because I looked at the Spotify creators thing this week. I think we're like 70 to 75% Spotify, and then Apple, and then it shows web browser, which I would.
That's all the Russian farms that we have that listen to us.
We're up to like
It's like Russia and Germany.
There's
I think
more now. We're up to 4 countries.
I think it's Canada.
It might be. We'll look after.
Canada sounds right. I don't know. Anyways, thank you guys for listening this week. You can check us out on all those places I say every week. We will see you guys after Iowa. See you guys next time.